touch that.
The handle on public restroom doors.
Can't touch that.
Any entree that includes back meat.
Can't touch that.
And oh yeah. People.
Can't touch that.
Fresh new gloves and masks. Looking like a ninja that's kicking the ass of germs. With a bottle of bleach.
So, this gentleman is a creative and performing artist. He's a producer and arts educator. He's hosted sold-out shows for Jay-Z and Kevin Hart. He's racked up millions of views on YouTube. I can attest to that. I've watched a lot of his stuff myself. He's recorded 9 parody albums and has appeared on Netflix, MTV, VH1, Hulu, and this past week was Frederick Douglass on hashtag CNN's Lincoln Divided We Stand. He's also the founder of Philadelphia Comedy College. But to sum it up, here is a cool dude that does stuff online. Keith from Up the Block. Welcome to Lysanderland.
Well, thank you. It feels so good to be in Lysanderland. Yeah, I mean, coming from Philly, this is my first time being interviewed by somebody from Canada, in North Canada. You're like way out there. So it's like I'm very excited, you know, that my work reaches that far and reaches all around, and that you reached out to me. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and coming on. A little bit about how I found you was completely by accident. I was actually researching for another guest, and through surfing on YouTube, I came across this Keith from Up the Block guy, and it was all one long word. I had to check it out, and it was a parody video. I can't remember which one it was, but I subscribed and then started watching all your stuff, and it's hilarious. That's when I reached out to you. Man, you've got to be one of the funniest human beings I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You got to meet my mama. She's funnier than me.
Moms are the best. We love moms in Lysanderland. We love moms. So at what point did you know you were funny? You've been doing this a while, it sounds, but when did you, like, was it somebody that said, "Hey, you're a pretty funny guy, you should"?
Well, my journey, as I've been sharing lately, started when I was young, kind of going through childhood trauma and witnessing domestic abuse. And my mom was hurt, and at a young age, I felt like it was my responsibility to make her happy. So I started becoming that kid that would be goofy in all of the pictures and just out in front and doing things. And I think when I made my mom smile, things that I did to make her laugh when I was very young, I would say that's when I knew I was funny, or that I could be funny.
Right.
Going through elementary school, I was the kid that was known as Fozzie Bear. My jokes were not funny. I was always trying, and the jokes weren't funny. And just, I guess, just going through life and loving hip hop, and then falling in love with parody when I was younger. By the time that I started creating parodies, I created parodies after that I'd already been a rap artist, and kind of gave up regular street hardcore rap to do funny rap. And that's when I really knew that I was funny, when I could literally stop on a street corner and stop people and do songs and then make them crack up.
So was it a lot of freestyle stuff? Like right off?
No, a lot of it was written, but I am, one of my, I think, superpowers is that I can almost parody any song. I can almost parody any song. So there's a lot of times, if you hang out with me, I'll create parodies on the spot. Like if I hear something, like you know, I don't know if it'll work, but like, what's a favorite song of yours that's popular that everybody knows? You can't give me something that I don't know, but what's something?
You know what? Right off the top of my head, and it's only because
off the top of your head, somebody
off the top of my head, and it's because of the last guest I had. How about "She Bangs" by Ricky Martin?
Oh, She Bangs. So you had William Hung on.
Yeah.
And he did She Bangs.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe maybe she doesn't smell too good, so she ranks. She ranks.
She ranks.
She stinks. Like, maybe about a girl that's not like up on her hygiene.
You
Give me another one. I can do it for days.
man, that is your superpower.
I can do it for days.
Oh man, California Love.
By Tupac?
Yeah.
Okay, it will be, since I'm from Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, it will be Pennsylvania knows how to party. Pennsylvania knows how to party. In the city of Erie. In the city of Philly. Like, it would just be obscure Pennsylvania towns.
That is awesome. That was going to be one of my questions, was what your process was.
In the county of Conshohocken, they keep it rocking, but it ain't Compton. Like, so I can do it all day.
That is so. I guess it's a skill and definitely a superpower that you've acquired over the years from just it becomes repetitive, right?
Yeah, and I believe that it definitely came from trauma when I was young. My love for hip hop and my love for parody, I think, was from the fact that I kind of wanted my life to change, and I wanted change in my life. So the cool thing about hip hop is that hip hop takes these elements that already exist and they flip them around and they make it something new. And I really fell in love with that aspect of hip hop. And then also with that aspect of parody, because I grew up watching Saturday Night Live and Eddie Murphy doing a lot of musical parodies, singing his Buckwheat, or doing Buckwheat Sings, or doing James Brown, doing Hot Tub, and all of that stuff. So I was always really into how one thing can be transformed into another. And I think it was a metaphor for where my life was and how my life was. And I was able to make these songs and make things and make myself happy, basically dope up without using drugs. To battle my own depression and anxiety and fear and trauma.
That's that is what you resorted to instead of drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Good for you. So never used, never at all, never been one of those kind of guys, always stayed away from it.
My father was
if you don't mind me asking.
Easton, PA, from Easton, in the city of Easton. No, well, okay, back. My father struggles with substance abuse.
Gotcha.
So he did, he did cocaine and ended up, of course, doing freebase and then crack. So on that side of things, on the side of hard drugs, I was always, and I still am, like, very against it. So never anything hard. I would just say in my life, in all transparency, weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Twice in my life, I did what they call, I guess, angel dust or wet.
Okay.
Because it was a popular thing to do, and I decided that I never wanted to do that again.
Yep.
Like, after I did it, I never wanted to not be in control of my mental faculties.
Yep.
That way. And that's not to judge anybody, but no hard drugs.
Good for you.
Nicotine and marijuana.
Same.
And I need to stop nicotine.
Same. I actually, so a little bit about myself, just so you know, I've had that background. I've done the drugs. I've done the hard drugs, lots of ecstasy about 20 years ago. Now, I actually just even though it's legal in Canada, I recently quit weed. I'm down probably, I don't want to say about 40 pounds. I don't get the munchies anymore.
Okay.
So that's helped a lot. So and like you.
Well, congratulations to you on your evolution and, working on your own, spiritual, physical, mental health and dealing with addiction. I know it's hard.
Thank you. And that's where I'm at. And that's where, that's actually how Lysanderland started. With COVID, it's making it hard for people to get out. I'm one of those guys that likes to get out and meet people. Unfortunately, not able to do that. But because of this and because of that awesome internet and social media, I can reach out to cool people like you and and learn, right? I think as human beings, that's how we learn, is from each other. Yeah. So Yeah, man, that's where I'm at. And congratulations to you for, never getting into that, but keeping yourself busy with other things, with your comedy, with your parody, acting. Tell me a little bit about how you got into acting.
Okay, so I got into acting. I always tell people stand-up comedy was the first that was the first goal. That was the first dream. If you would have talked to me in second grade, I would have told you I wanted to be a stand-up comic because when I was young, the visions of my family, my mom and dad, and everybody being happy is them making me stay upstairs while they watch Eddie Murphy Delirious or watch Richard Pryor. So I would come down, and at that time, there was no TMZ. Nobody, I thought that celebrities had the best life ever. They didn't have any problems. And I thought, how cool would it be to just try to make people happy and laugh for a living? So stand-up comedy was the first goal. I was at a point when I was young, I had a very advanced reading level. So when I was young, when I was in elementary school, I was in the academics plus class in grades K through 5, and my reading level was very high. Matter of fact, when we took reading and we would sit in circles and we would get books, I would have to go to the middle school or another class because my reading level was at a high school level. So by the time I got to middle school, when I was going through what my goals would be in life, I had a teacher, you know what I mean? A great teacher, and shouts out to everybody in the LGBTQ community, a gay teacher named Mr. Ratberger. And he told me, he said, you know what? I know you want to be the next Eddie Murphy, but there's no school that you can go to be a comedian. But he said, you know what? There is a school that you could go to learn how to act. And look at all of the movies that Eddie Murphy is doing and Richard Pryor is doing. And your reading level is really good. So here's some Shakespeare. I want you to look over this. And I'm recommending you to audition for the Philadelphia High School for Creative and Performing Arts. And if you don't know, this is the same school. The year I came in, the year before I came in, The Roots and Boys the Men graduated from this school.
Oh, wow.
So going to Performing Arts High School, and that teacher putting Shakespeare in my hand and then casting me in a school play where I had to sing and I had to act, set me on a trajectory of acting. So once I got into performing arts, I took it very seriously. And by the time I graduated Best Dramatist in a yearbook, also Best Dramatist, top of my class in a school for that. I had been touring. I was in a Crisscross music video. And I also had a TV show on broadcast TV in Philly before I graduated high school. So stand-up comedy was the first love, but acting was the first discipline. I even performed at Clinton's inauguration.
Oh, wow.
So, like growing up. So I took acting very seriously. I still do in many ways.
So at what point, how do I want to ask this? At what point did you know it was this was the path you were going to go on?
Okay. Like around 7th, 8th grade, or around 8th grade when I was auditioning for Creative and Performing Arts High School, my mom kept us in a church. So what I actually did was I gave my life to Christ when I was in 8th grade. So I went up to the altar, and when I went to the altar, in 8th grade, I said, God, if you give me the ability to perform, and if you give me the strength to be able to do this, I promise never to use this skill for evil. I promise to be an example, of your light. Now, with that said, I believe Jesus died for my sins, but I'm also a person that's not so conventional so far as Christianity. So I'm not what people will call a Jesus freak. But when I knew that this was something that I wanted to do, I actually took it to the altar and took it that seriously.
Wow. And
a lot of people, that's the first time, to tell you the truth, that's the first time I've ever told anybody that. That's the first time I told anybody that. And the funny thing is that
thank you for sharing.
God gave me everything that I asked for. Everything that I asked for. He just didn't give me $1 million. I did not ask for $1 million. I didn't ask for millions of dollars. If I had to go back to that 8th grade me, I would shake the hell out of him and say, ask for money, ask for financial freedom along with the ability to perform. Because I've been able to do everything that I wanted to do. I've been able to do it. That's the one thing, and that's the road that I'm on now. I want to try to find fulfillment and financial freedom.
Are you finding you're on your way there? I think with your latest album, The COVID Theory, it's gotten some acclaim. It's on iTunes.
Yeah.
I hope you're getting lots of downloads. Obviously, I can't see that, but
Well,
man,
you know what the funny thing is this, and this is for all the artists out there that are doing things. I think that when you're performing and you're performing for a while, you know these regular means of doing what you have to do to try to make money and try to get out there, right?
Mhm.
So with the COVID theory, I was at a certain point where I had left YouTube videos alone for a while. I had stopped doing that for a while because it just wasn't gaining attraction. And I found that what I had started doing was I was just trying to keep up to what's relevant. And I'm an artist at heart. And it felt like I wasn't creating. It was like the world was telling me what to do. And it made my work like not that good. So when I did the COVID theory, one thing that I promised myself, I taught myself how to produce. So I produced that whole album. And I said, I'm not going to worry about the views. I'm not going to worry about all of this other stuff. The one thing that I want to do, I want to submit it for a Grammy because I feel like this year, like this is a year that an album about COVID should be able to gain some attention. So when I did the album, I put it on what you're supposed to put it on so that you can get nominated for a Grammy or quote unquote what everybody does. So you go, you get the distribution, you put it on iTunes, you put it on Spotify, you put it on all of this stuff and you do it. All right. So my stuff got downloaded and it got streamed. And here's the point that I'm making. I got the report back from the money that I made from all my downloads and streams. $5.
Come on.
$5 whole for a year, for hundreds of thousands of views and everything. $5 from being streamed on Spotify, iTunes. Here's the thing, and this is something that I'm glad that I did. When I created the COVID theory, you know how the movie 8 Mile, Eminem says, you got to stop thinking up here and you got to start thinking down here, right?
Yep.
So yeah, the album was available on Spotify, iTunes, all of these places that other people go to. And you know what? If I was the biggest celebrity in the world, maybe that would have made me a lot of money. But what I did was I reached out to my core supporters and my raving fans and people who really gave a damn. And they got the album early and they got the package that I sent you that had the videos, the albums, bonus songs, everything.
And thanks again for that.
They got that from buying it from me, from donating to my Cash App. They got that for $20. From doing that, I don't want to give all the price quotes, but I would say that I made over $10,000 from that.
Congratulations.
From that. Not from Spotify or whatever, but from reaching out to real people who really just wanted the album and people who wanted to support and people who would share. You don't get that much money when you stream and how everybody's streaming now and nobody's buying things, everybody's streaming. But when people will forget your name, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
So for the people that this album touched, they went and they bought that bonus package. So now my outlook on everything is that, you know what? I'm going to stop thinking up here. What I'm going to do is touch the people. I'm going to touch the people that want to be touched and want to feel my work. And ever since I've been doing that, I've been getting success that I never thought was there. For instance, today, I'm being interviewed by somebody from North Canada that would have never known my work, that ran into it and loved my energy and said, let me put you on the show. And to me, that's why I entertain. I can't speak for everybody else. And I don't know how long I'm going to be here on this earth, but if my music, if my work, if my acting touched you in a great way and it made you say, let me reach out and you became a raving fan, that's what I want, because you're the one that's going to buy a t-shirt. You're the one that's going to want that early download. You're the one that's really going to check on me. I think we live in a world where everybody's trying to reach everybody and not worrying about what's right there in front of them.
You making people smile. You're just all about making people smile. You're another one of these folks that I'm meeting that just wants to help, and you're doing it in your own very very creative way. You've certainly made a fan out of me, out of my son. By like we never he would have never known about you had I not said, "Hey Dill, you got to check this guy out. Let's watch some videos." And you wouldn't have made a fan out of my 11-year-old daughter. You're going to like this. So last night I'm watching some videos and my daughter, oh no, this was the other night. My daughter does dance. So we set up this wood dance floor downstairs by my gym. And we're watching some videos before she dances. And then she goes upstairs to get herself some water. And as she's going upstairs, she's singing, "We watch the windows and the walls, and we watch them bathroom stalls." And my wife is going, "Sander, what is she listening to down there?" It's okay, it's okay. So she came down, and now my wife is a fan.
Oh wow!
She gets on. She got on the treadmill, and she started watching your videos just because it makes her smile while she walks. While she's exercising.
Great. That's great. And that's joy. And that's that's where it comes from. Like I said, the trauma that I experienced when I was young, singing these funny songs, doing these funny things is what made me feel better and get through depression. So now I kind of realize that I want the work that I do to touch people. And that part can be a little hard because now to be popular on Instagram, to be popular on YouTube, it's almost like the worse you are, the more popular you are. And a lot of people are using that for attention. So if you sing bad or you rap bad or you're crass or your jokes about low-hanging fruit, then everybody's going to watch. But I don't think what these creators realize is that people aren't watching you to really be attached. They're watching for the sensation. So they want to see you fall off the toilet. They want to see you get punched. They want to see something quick so that they can move on to the next one. I don't do that. My comedy is more or less gourmet for the comedy connoisseur. It's right. Like, for people who want a theme with what they're doing and something that's really going to stick in their head. So hearing that your family, and you guys dug in the crates, if you're listening to Sweep the Floor and all that stuff, and I find some people, they are finding my old stuff, and I always created stuff, and I told people, it's not going to hit online and be big in an instant, but this is stuff that will outlast me. So that's what I'm all about. Creating things that will, after I'm gone, people can still watch and they can feel that energy because it comes from a real place. It comes from a place of a kid, of a man who is dealing with trauma, and this is how he decided to get through it. And if you listen to it and let it in your heart, it should do the same thing. It'll ruin a bunch of songs for you, but it should do the same.
It sure has. Michael Jackson for sure.
Yeah.
Huge Michael Jackson fan.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that album was funny too.
Wow, so you listen to Off the Balls?
Yeah, with my son. So while I was after I found you, I reached out. I watched a few videos, and like I said, you got to be one of the funniest human beings I've ever seen. I had to meet you. I had to figure out some way to meet you. And thanks again for this opportunity. And then I invited my son to watch you. And my wife is a Michael Jackson fan too, so we all started watching your stuff on YouTube. And it was like, it's like that text I sent you, I didn't know how to introduce you because you've done so much stuff. Like, you're creative, you're producing this stuff. And you also, you created the comedy college. So from the teacher saying that, you know what, there isn't a comedy school, you went out and created your own comedy school. Like,
yes. And I think that's how life works. I actually think that our purpose here in the short time that we're here is to create the things that the younger versions of ourselves would have needed. Right?
Got you.
So for me, creating Comedy College was all about, you know what? When I graduated high school, if there was a school for comedy, I would have went. Not to say that I wouldn't have went to another college or university, but if I could take 10 weeks or a year just learning about stand-up comedy from professionals and stuff, and it wasn't too expensive, then I would definitely do that. And it didn't really exist. You had like classes at comedy clubs, and not to knock those, and then you had some improv classes out there, but I was like, no, there needs to be a program that's structured almost like university learning for people who are passionate about stand-up comedy, no matter if they're doing it or if they're just starting to do it, and they can actually learn, from people.
What was the?
I got a question for you.
Yeah, man, shoot.
How much of Off the Balls did you hear? Did you just hear the stuff on YouTube?
Just the stuff on YouTube, yeah. Yeah, and then actually, hold on.
Songs? I'm trying to think what songs are on YouTube. So you didn't. I have to find a way to get you the album.
SoundCloud. I ended up going on SoundCloud and then listening to some more stuff. And actually, I didn't know you had recorded 9. I actually had 7 written down because I went through all the albums on SoundCloud. SoundCloud had 6, and then I went, okay, COVID Theory must be 7.
Yeah, there's 9.
There's 9 in total.
Did you hear of Every Ghetto Christmas yet?
Yes, I saw that on YouTube. Have yourself a very ghetto Christmas.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that album was recorded 13 years ago.
Wow.
13 years ago. And when I released the first videos on YouTube, I was number two in the world on YouTube when that album dropped. It was back in the day. YouTube was still big, but it was,
Yeah.
But it was, so it was, there's, if I can name them, I would say the first one was Get Rich or Die Laughing. Okay. After that, you have Ready to Laugh. After Ready to Laugh, you have American Prankster. After American Prankster, you have Off the Balls. After Off the Balls, you have The Charter 3. After The Charter 3, you had Spank Me Later. After Spank Me Later, you had... After Spank Me Later, what was it? It was Krispy Kreme Chasers.
Okay. Nice.
Krispy Kreme Chasers. And after Krispy Kreme Chasers, you had A Very Ghetto Christmas, and then you have The COVID Theory.
Wow.
So that would be 9. Did I just name 10? Do I have 10?
I'd have to rewind it, but
you have to rewind. Let me run down that again. You have Get Rich or Die Laughing, you have Ready to Laugh, you have American Prankster, you have The Charter 3, you have Off the Balls, you have Spank Me Later, you have Krispy Kreme Chasers, A Very Ghetto Christmas, and The COVID Theory. Yeah, so that's 9.
9. Okay. I didn't have to go.
9 out.
I didn't have to ask Uncle Google.
Yeah, and three of those were under game recordings, which is. Are you a video game person?
Yeah, I have been for.
Okay.
Yeah, not a gamer, but.
Yeah, have you ever played Grand Theft Auto 3?
No.
Grand Theft Auto 3 was the first one where they had the drive-in mechanics and they had the radio station inside of the car. If you remember that game, they had a station called Game Radio. I was signed to Game Recordings. I'm the last hip-hop act that they signed. The label was started by a man named Jonathan Schechter. He is the founding editor of Source Magazine. If you remember Source Magazine.
Yeah, I do.
The man that gave Nas 5 mics. The only other artist that he had signed before then was an artist from Detroit named Royce the 5'9", because he helped fund Eminem's beginning career, and Royce and Eminem were best friends. And he also produced Eminem and Royce the 5'9's Bad Meets Evil, did some work with 50 Cent, but I was the last hip-hop artist that he signed on Game Recordings. So American Prankster and The Charter 3 and half of Off the Balls were actually, I was signed to a real label.
Wow. When you're doing these, the music videos, because that's primarily what we all watched, how much work is involved in doing those?
Okay, it depends on which ones. Like the ones when I was signed to a label, and they had the money like behind to get it. One cool thing, have you ever seen my video called I'm at Work? It's a version of You're a Jerk. It's I'm at Work.
Yeah.
I'm at Work. Now, the interesting thing about that video is that video is directed by Matt Alonzo. Matt Alonzo has done videos for Nipsey Hussle, Game, everybody. He was doing big videos then. But the interesting thing is that he did the video for the original song. For the original song that I'm parodying, You're a Jerk, he directed that video. So it's the first time in history that a director of the original actually parodied himself and directed the parody version. So with that was all on him. So the videos that I did when I was signed was It's Too Late for Spermicide, I'm at Work, and I Get Chubby. All those were done by kind of top-notch directors. But right after my label deal ended, I taught myself how to shoot and edit. Okay.
Right.
So a lot of the videos after that, props to Shannon Ure, who did. Can we curse on here? Or is this?
Yeah,
PG?
absolutely. Yeah. I've got the explicit label.
Have you seen Flat Titty Bitch?
No.
You never saw Flat Titty Bitch?
No, I haven't seen Flat City Bitch yet.
Oh, it's a version of Tiger's Rack City, but it goes Flat Titty
City.
Bitch, flat titty bitch, skinny thin, bitty bitty titty bitch. Oh, it's freaking hilarious. But that was done by Shannon Ure. But I started learning from these different directors. And even when I was in high school, I had started kind of directing after I had been on some professional video sets. So that all comes together with the COVID theory. Every video that you see on a COVID theory was self-shot and directed by me 100%. That's me shooting myself. That's me setting up the camera. Like, if I can, let me just put this down here. Let me show you something real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
That's me transforming my living room into my own kind of studio. Like, that's not a chroma background. That's this background here. As you can see, I have lights on the background. I even have my camera like set up over there. And I bought the necessary equipment so that I could self-shoot and so that I could direct all of those videos. The only thing I didn't do is like on Quarantine 99, I didn't do my makeup, or for Roughing Out, I didn't do the Tribe Called Quest makeup. So I had makeup artists come in. But I literally had to set up the camera, frame the shot, light myself, do a test, look at the test, go back, cue the sound, perform, get finished, and go into my room and edit. This is after producing all of the music.
Wow. Did you do all the editing yourself as well?
Yes, 100%.
Can I
120%.
ask you a question, because that's some of my interest too. I like doing videos. You'll see a lot of this stuff on YouTube. How hard is it to do individual shots and then have the music sync? You know what I mean? Like when the song is playing all as one track, but you've got different shots of you mouthing to the lyrics. How hard is that to do?
It's not hard. You just have to plan and you have to do your storyboard. And the thing with me is that I've been working, because I did a TV show here in Philly for about 12 years called Urban Expressions. And it was popular here in Philly. It reached about like 10 million people. And this is how I met a lot of the celebrities. So when you go to my YouTube, you see pictures of me with Jay-Z, with Beyonce, with 50 Cent, with all of those people. That's because I was doing TV in Philly on the most popular video show. But what happens is, after you work, when I was doing that TV show, we used to have to do commercials or spots for people. And I had become great. Another super skill of mine is that I can visually see the storyboard in my head. Nice. So if I'm doing it, I know exactly what I want the shot to look like. You take a video like Quarantine 99, where I'm Prince. Yeah, I'm a light-skinned Prince with a purple beard. I already know that I want it cropped this way, and I want to be doing this, or I want to be saying this lyric when that happens. So to tell you the truth, if you plan it out properly, it's not hard at all. Once you become better skilled at it, you'll be able to do it on the fly, kind of like I can. Like I'm about to do a video for Forgot About AIDS. The world doesn't know this. I'm about to do a video for Forgot About AIDS. But I can storyboard that in my head. All I have to do is set up, get my lighting right, and I'll know, okay, I'm going to do this one as a full shot. I'm going to do this one as a close shot. This one, I want to just get my mouth. Now, let's pick out lines from the song that I know I want to perfectly say, or I want to say like this. So let's get those shots. Since I am the shooter, director, and editor, I can empathize with all roles of what I have to do. So I'm actually editing when I'm shooting, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense to me. Yeah.
And I think you have to be direct too. I think one things that people forget is that if you are the director of a project, the key word is direct. So you have to make sure that your vision looks the way that you want it to look. Now, sometimes there's beautiful mistakes that could turn out to be funny, but you have to make sure as that director to not fault from your vision. Because the more you let these other things come in, when you sit down and edit, you're going to be there forever making decisions that you could have already made.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Damn, you're really...
Do you know how to storyboard?
No. So my very first video I ever did was I actually did it with a tape camera, the mini DV. I always wanted a camera. I'm going back maybe almost 20 years ago. And I did some still shot or stop animation, and I took some toy animals, and I downloaded. Won't see if it was legal or illegal, but I downloaded the bound chicka wow wow that, and I made like a zoo animal porn. and then I put it, and then
Zoo animal porn.
Yeah, it was it was a male lion and a female lion, and it was boom boom chomp boom 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 bada bada boom boom boom. Oh fuck, Big Daddy, don't stop. Yeah, oh Big Daddy, don't stop. And oh yeah, it wasn't bad. I wish I still had it.
When he came, did he let out a roar?
No, I didn't get that far because the stop animation was that was a long process, and there's no shortcuts. Like if you want to make it look right, it's gotta, and that was something I learned.
If you did that, then you already have the skill to kind of storyboard.
I
tell you what, you know what, I have an idea to show you how easy it is, okay? And since you found me and you're in Canada, how would you like to be in it? The first question is this. You have this recorded, so can you send me a clip of this? Like if I do what I'm about to do, can you send me just that clip?
Yeah, I'll send you the whole video.
Okay, if you can send me the whole video.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is what we're going to do, okay? And trust me, for everybody watching, we didn't have this plan. I'm going to show you how it works.
Okay.
Do you want to be in a Keith from Up the Block video?
Yeah, please. That'd be awesome. Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do it right now. I just told you that I'm doing a video for Forgot About AIDS. Have you ever heard the song?
No.
Okay. So Forgot About AIDS is a parody of Forgot About Dre by Eminem and Dr. Dre. Okay?
Okay.
So this is how it works. I'm going to tell you what the hook is.
Okay.
And then all you have to do is say the hook. You know how he says, nowadays everybody want to talk. Like they got something to say. When nothing comes out when they move their lips, just a bunch of gibberish. And motherfuckers act, they forgot about Dre. Instead of forgot about Dre, you're going to say forgot about AIDS.
Forgot about AIDS.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, just forgot about AIDS to the rhythm. And when I put the song on, you're going to do it in rhythm with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the song over here.
Okay.
I'm going to do the whole song. You just head bob to it, and on the part where it says forgot about AIDS, you just jump in and say forgot about AIDS.
Okay.
All right? And you act like it's there. And what I want to do is I want to put you in one of the hooks, and it'll be in Lysanderland.
Okay.
And from here. Okay, so you got it?
Yeah, yeah. Do it.
Okay, so cool. Let me cue up the song.
Okay, okay.
I hope I'm not taking up too much time. But
no, sir. No. This is all about you.
Okay. All right. So once again, the song is Forgot About AIDS. It's from the COVID theory for everybody watching. I'm going to do the song, and when it comes up, when I do the hook, the whole time when I'm rapping, just bob to it and like just be feeling it.
Okay.
And be like, yeah. But when it comes to the AIDS part, you be like, forgot about AIDS.
Forgot about AIDS.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Let me make sure my volume is right. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay. This is the first time I'm doing this like this. Check it out. So just bob to it, and we record, just bob to it. Y'all know me, still the same old Keith. Remember HIV was hated on and then blamed on the gays and the dope fiends. No cure, no vaccine, brochures for black teens. No. Yeah, I mean, don't be mad at me, cause I can finally go off and recite what I see with a parody. Gotta live through a pandemic and it feels kinda whack. Everybody covered up with a mask. In the back of a line like a carnival ride to get groceries. Y'all think it came from overseas? Bro, please, Corona got you down on both knees. Who you think brought y'all HIV? What you think brought down the OGs? Easy Ease, Arthur Ashes, Robert Reeves, Rockefellers, Liberace's, and a dude that sung Bohemian Rhapsody. AIDS was an epidemic tragedy that put fear in down in the hood. Until Magic Johnson got HIV and survived to this day making mochis. Y'all should have listened more closely to Barack, cause the world stopped when the
germ drop. After Trump got rid of the commission, he positioned to oversee. Straight facts, all of that. If I'm lying, show me. Y'all really need to get a book to read about syphilis and Tuskegee. Nowadays, everybody hear a cough and they start running away. Stuck up in a house feeling bored as shit, just playing tiddlywinks and motherfuckers like they forgot about AIDS. Nowadays, everybody hear a cough and they start running away. Stuck up in a house feeling bored as shit, just playing tiddlywinks and motherfuckers act like they forgot about AIDS. What do you say to somebody afraid when everybody living in a bubble today? Want to trust everything the government say? Just study and tell how we struggle with AIDS. One day I was walking by, and my cough was dry. And I called the guy, gave me an awkward eye. Like a stick in his face in the parking lot, and he was going to die. I ain't give a fuck cause I was smoking pot. Coughing for weed, so I grabbed my Glock and I stuck him up. Then I threw him inside of a garbage truck, stuck with dirty drawers and socks. Wilding out, everybody scared of corona. Black people still getting killed by cops. Gotta keep it real, fuck COVID, when will the killing stop? If your girl got the flu, stay away, but you don't need to burn down the house. Remember, AIDS was tragic and Magic had it till he knocked that ass out. So the hair going out, it's the COVID theory. On replay, so now you hear me, the face came back, I was still bareback with a chick named Halle Berry. Give me, it's crazy. I just think K and Allegheny with shady men go to get doped up with coke that they got from crack babies. I survived the 80s, Ebola, SARS, and rabies, scabies, and even slavery. It's no wonder they want to play. Now do the hook. Now,
forgot about AIDS.
Everybody hear a cough and they start running away. Stuck up in the house feeling bored as shit. Just playing tiddlywinks and motherfuckers act like
forgot about AIDS.
Nowadays, everybody hear a cough and they start running away. Stuck up in the house feeling bored as shit. Just playing tiddlywinks and motherfuckers act like they
forgot about AIDS.
There you go. All right. So now, once you send me that, I can edit it. And just from looking at you and just from shooting it, knowing my performance and seeing what you did, I know where I would drop that in the video. So once the video is done, I'll send it to you. So very simple if you pre-plan.
Got you.
Pre-plan, you have great ideas. And that'll raise the production value because I love the fact that you have COVID scanner, behind you. So that just makes it look dope and it makes it global since you're in North Canada.
Thank you. Well, I hope it looks good for you, man.
No, it will be perfect.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. That's definitely a first for me. I get to be in a music video.
Here you go.
So cool.
It'll be a great comedic video.
You really know how to put smiles on people's faces, man. Like you.
I think that's what it's about. I think that's what it's about. I think you have to tell you the truth. I think the thing that people are missing in this life is that you have to give without worrying about what you're going to receive, because if you only concentrate on what you can receive, there's only but so much that you can receive. But if you're constantly giving and giving and giving and you find joy in giving, it's going to come back. And even if it doesn't, you're going to be the happiest person on earth. And I think that's our mission here. We weren't put here to suffer and to worry. We were put here to be fulfilled and to be happy and to smile.
Yeah, absolutely. In 100% agreement. Man, I had a couple of other questions for you, but that was so much fun. I totally forgot.
Well, that's good. Well, I think that it is all about having fun. Toast to you.
Thank you. Tea for me. I'm doing the fasting. And yeah, that's working well. Geez, you took me right off with the music video, man.
Well, so I'm sorry, not sorry.
No, that's okay. No. My own fault. I should have had everything written down more. What was it like meeting all those celebrities that you did? It
was. The cool thing is that I would say that it was inspiring and it was motivational, because a lot of the people that I met that are kind of like the captains or the leaders of their field now, like the Jay-Z's and the Kevin Harts, I met them at a point where they may have a little popularity, but they weren't as famous as what they became. So to be honest with you, it was very inspiring because I've seen people go from here to here. So being in close vicinity to those people, it definitely lets you know that anything and everything is possible. So it felt great. Like when I look back and like, there's things that I did like 16 years ago that still go viral. Like an interview I did with Lil Wayne. Yes. When he was like on his first or second album. And it's kind of like to see what he became. And then knowing that I met Jay-Z at a time when Rockefeller Records wasn't even on Def Jam yet. It was still priority. He didn't even have his first big, huge mega hit. Is seeing where he went to. There was another lesson in that. I once dissed Jay-Z
when I was a young journalist. Like, not dissed them like, oh, fuck you, Jay-Z. It wasn't like that.
Right.
It was one of my first interviews, and I was in a room, and Jay-Z was sitting next to me, and the manager of the event or the promoter said, well, they're about to go on stage. You have time to either interview Jay-Z or Foxy Brown. And this was at a time when a song called Ain't No Nigga came out. And that song was like the biggest smash for the summer. It was on a Nutty Professor soundtrack.
Okay.
It was Jay-Z's first legitimate hit. But if anybody remembers, it was a huge hit because Foxy Brown was on the song. And she was like a female rapper and everybody wanted to get with her. So I'm sitting right next to Jay-Z. And I was like, I don't know if I said these words. I was like, man, fuck that. I want to interview Foxy Brown. It kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of, you know, and went and interviewed Foxy Brown, and that came on. Now, fast forward all these years later, one of my biggest credits and one of the things that I'm most proud of is that I opened up for Jay-Z when he came out of retirement for the Kingdom Come album.
Awesome.
Def Jam gave my homie Shelly Shell, they gave her a call and said, listen, we want Keith to host for Jay-Z. So I go down to the concert. Now, I've met Jay plenty of times after that, okay? All right, but at this point, Jay-Z is Jay-Z. He's big enough to retire. He had retired. No rapper retires.
Yep.
He had retired, and then he was coming back. And he did a concert called the Hangar Tour where he was going to 7 different cities in one day. One of the stops was Philadelphia. I was the host for Philadelphia. So I go down there, and I'm about to host. I'm like, well, who else is going to be here? Because I'm thinking Beanie Siegel, Freeway, other people he know from Philly going to open up. And it was nobody. It was just me and Jay-Z. So I literally had to perform for 45 minutes and bring up the greatest rapper in the world. And to this day, that is one of my proudest moments and one of my biggest credits for a person that I once looked over. So you asked me, what does it feel like meeting and knowing all these people? Inspirational and a lot of lessons. To know that that same person that you're sitting next to, that you're looking down on, that you don't think is going to do that, is one day going to be married to Beyonce and be a billionaire. And
right.
You're going to be a huge fan of theirs. And when people introduce you, they're going to mention his name simply because you opened up for him once.
You've actually, meeting you has inspired me, and I'm not trying to blow any smoke up your ass or anything, but just from watching all the things you did from your really, really, really early stuff up to now, and then just meeting and just seeing you're a real dude that's just putting stuff out there. He's putting himself out there. It's inspired me actually to keep doing this. And keep working on some other projects I'm doing. I did have a question, though. So you did a video a number of years ago, and it was you brought back a Call of Duty video game.
To Kmart.
To Kmart, yeah. Was that a work, or was that the real thing?
That was the real thing.
Wow.
125%. The real thing. Here's the deal.
Okay, hold on. But before you continue, I want to hear a story, but I gotta tell my son Dylan he owes me $20 because I knew it was real, because I used to be a professional shoplifter. Real good too. And I could take that plastic off, slip the game out, keep the plastic. Of course, I would have to watch how I cut it. I used a really fine razor.
Yeah.
Pop it down, take the disc out, and then slide it back up and return it, get my $40 back, and I got a brand new video game. Used to do it all the time.
Yeah. So that's what happened. I don't know if you guys have Kmart's, but is Kmart? I don't even know if Kmart is still in business, but
Kmart's been gone from Canada for a while.
And at this time, the Call of Duty games got to a point where they became like wildly popular. And I know that they're still wildly popular.
Massive.
There was a time when we were like they're massively popular, but kind of like, I don't know what they made before they made Black Ops, but everybody was so hype about Black Ops.
Mm-hmm.
When Black Ops came out, and it was set in the Vietnam era, and you could use these weapons, and I think that's the first one where they had zombie mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where you could play zombies, so it was, oh man, I had to go. I went and I got this game. I had an Xbox 360, got it from Kmart, and I think Kmart's were like kind of closing down, and this one was kind of like a ghetto Kmart. So I went to, I went to Kmart, I bought it, I got home,
And I opened it up, and it's a damn mix CD. It was like 1997 or was it 2000? I don't know. It was a mix. It was an old mix CD inside of the thing, and I was like, "Oh man, now I got to take this shit back." But I was like, "I know they're not going to believe me." So when I go back, I'm gonna be taping. I'm gonna be there right when they open, and I'm gonna take my shit and I'm gonna document it. That way, if they don't, y'all can let people know what's going on. What I think happened was, probably somebody in their stock department, or like you said, somebody might have returned the game to get their money back and did that. But they opened it up. I showed them. If you see the video, I showed. Listen, they must have opened this up and then put this in here, and this is what you guys sold me. And the manager wasn't going to do it. And trust, this is at a time when everybody wasn't pulling out their phones to tape.
No,
Stuff like that. And I'm glad that I did tape, because I don't think they would have gave me the refund if I didn't.
Wow.
And I worry about that. Like, as a black dude, you do worry about that. Like, take your stuff back, and I got this mixtape. He might think that I'm a crackhead. And,
no, that
I'm not. It's just,
When I watched it, that was the impression I got. I thought they were gonna break your balls hard, like, and they sort of did, but I'm glad everything worked out for you in the end. But
it's one of my favorite video games. I think
you still have it
right over there. Yeah. It's one of my favorite videos. I still have the one that they gave me back. Actually, this isn't the one they gave me back, but I still have Black Ops.
Got you.
I still have
Nice.
Still play Black Ops. I love this game.
Are you so you're an Xbox guy then?
Yeah, Xbox, but I play PlayStation 4 too. But I don't play games as much as I used to on purpose. I love video games. But to tell you the truth, I have so much to do. I can't see making achievements digitally in a digital world when I have money and shit that I need to do here in the real world. So I tell a lot of guys that, like, you might have to fast from the video games for a while if there's something that you want in the real world. I think that video games are great if you're already working hard, making money, taking care of your responsibilities, and you need some time to stress, or you need to relive those football days or those basketball days, or you want to shoot something, it's good for that. But if you have stuff that you need to do, video games can take up a large chunk of your life, and they really the best video games tap into your emotions. So they can make you depressed. They can make you angry. They can put anxiety into you. And if you're concentrating all on that instead of doing what you have to do out there, or if you need to lose weight and you're not running, but you're playing a video game, tapping buttons, and a dude is running.
Yeah. Like,
true.
Very true.
You might have to step away from the video games a little bit.
Yeah, very true. We not as much as I used to as well. But we do play a little bit of Fortnite after supper with the girls. And then sometimes they'll go upstairs and I'll play a couple of rounds myself. And you get a little emotional, but I try to make a little bit of I try to make a little fun out of it. Do you stream at all? Do you have a Twitch channel or?
No, I don't have a Twitch. I don't even chat with people on a headset or do any of that. You know what I play? I play boxing on 360 still, because they haven't made a new boxing. But I play UFC 3. I'm about to get UFC 4. So I play UFC a whole lot.
Same. You unlock
which one? You play 3?
I got 3. I've started. Well, I've done career mode a couple of times. I did career mode with my very first one was with Mirko Cro Cop. Because I was are you a UFC fan guy?
No, Mirko Cro Cop is all that. Got the checkered shorts.
Yeah.
The black shorts with the checkers on the side.
Are you a UFC guy then?
I became a UFC guy more from playing the game. Like, to tell you the truth, I from playing the game, I'm going back on YouTube and watching the real life fights.
Yes.
For these people that I use. And like, the reason that I play that game is because every time you play it is different.
Yep.
So every fight, what I usually do is put it on the highest setting. Then I put it on random and let the computer choose the opponents. And then I just kind of play while I'm writing or while I'm doing whatever, because it's all muscle memory.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about much. And then sometimes I'll do some online fights, but it just occupies me, gives me the video game feel, and I don't have to worry about saving the world. Because some of my favorite games, like, I love BioShock. I don't know if you ever played BioShock.
I never played it, but I know of it.
BioShock Infinite. I love the Grand Theft Autos. I have Red Dead Revolver
2 or 3, the great one, and I refuse to play it because I know I will love it and it will take up too much of my day. I'm like, I need to make a vacation just to play video games because I got too much to do. You know,
you're smart. You're very, very good at staying away from it, because that's, believe it or not, I actually wanted to do. It's become a problem, believe it or not. First of all, I'm actually and you're gonna get a scoop on this one. I'm trying the work of trying to do a show right now where I could find somebody to talk about video game addiction. Because in England they actually opened up their first video game addiction clinic. There's one in Toronto, and I didn't know it was a problem, but I guess for some
you
people,
didn't know it was a problem until you was in front of GameStop. Like, I need that Call of Duty, man. I'll suck your dick.
Pookie, I love it. I haven't heard that one in a while. So you're just so.
No, but it is anything that visually stimulates you with sound and visuals, and then the fact that in these games there's so much like great emotion, like you're really feeling things. And to tell you the truth, it can digitally fill a void, and after a while, it becomes a thing. I know it was for me. I know I could spend all day like playing BioShock and really being upset about it, and then meanwhile I'm not going to job interviews, or I'm not creating, or I'm not creating. Had I been addicted to videos, the COVID theory would have never happened. But here's the great thing, Lysander. Since you're into video production and that other stuff, once you start getting into that, you'll become addicted to that, because that is also sight and sound and things you're doing. Editing and video production, I think, is a close cousin to video games.
Actually, I've become addicted to doing this. This is meeting people has always been my I guess personal little addiction. Just meeting, and not just meeting people, but meeting people from other lands, we'll say, right? Like you're way on Philadelphia. I'd never been. I know there's a Rocky statue out there still, I think.
Of course. Oh yeah, the Rocky statue is here. You're gonna have to come to Philadelphia. We're gonna have to get you out here.
Yeah, apparently it's different.
And I gotta come to Canada. I've never been to Canada.
You never? Man, when they open the comedy clubs up here, you should try to get some gigs. I think you do really well with all the parodies. Oh man, I'm surprised you haven't.
You have to be a champion for me out there in Canada. Like I said this, I had a screening yesterday for the CNN thing and this other musical that I'm in. And I told everybody in the room, I said, you know what? I used to think that being really good would mean that you would be successful. And now at 45, I realize that that's not really the truth. It truly does take a village to raise a great career. It takes people. It doesn't take, I don't believe in fans. I believe in leaders. I need people who can take what it is I do and go out there and lead the charge. But in today's world, everybody feels, and I used to always feel like I had to promote myself and push and push. Nowadays, I'm using the power of pull, meaning that I'm just going to be dope as fuck and as awesome as I can and keep spreading joy and keep giving and giving and giving and giving in the world to give me what they need. So if you think that I should be in Canada performing, when you see these clubs open up, go to them and say, you guys need to book Keithfromupdablock and get him up here. He'll stay up here for a cheap hotel. Get him up because he does parodies. And, you know, people up here, they love parodies because that's what makes a career in an entertainment career successful. It's not me pushing, because Lord knows I pushed a lot. It's other people championing the work.
I will do that for you.
I'm biased, you know.
No, I will absolutely do that for you. I thought parodies died. I didn't know there were any other parodies other than Weird Al Yankovic until I found you. Seriously, I'm surprised. I think. Like I haven't watched the Grammys in a while, but I'm surprised. I'm surprised you haven't won a Grammy for your previous parody albums.
This was the first year that I submitted for a Grammy. Believe it or not, when I was signed to the label, they actually laughed at me when I said that I wanted to get a Grammy. But I remember that Weird Al Yankovic had won Grammys. I'll be honest with you, a lot of the hurdles that I had to jump over is because I'm a black guy who does parodies. So believe it or not, the parody world is a very white world. The satire world is a very white world. The only people that have been just successful at doing kind of satire has been the Wayans brothers,
Yeah.
who I love, who throughout the years, Robert Townsend even did it. But even when you look at comedy and everything, they like the parody community, the people that appreciate and buy parodies, some of them are racist. And it's a very white world. So when you come into it and you're a black guy, they're immediately like, oh, you're just trying to hustle. And a lot of them won't even give it that time of day. Then with black people, there's not that many black people that are huge Weird Al Yankovic fans. So when you do it for them, they're like, oh, this is just some weird shit. So I've always been stuck in the middle. Now, there are a lot of people who do parodies, but a lot of these parodies are kind of like low-hanging fruit. So they'll do songs about anything. I've always been a huge nerd and a nerd of parodies. So I try to make sure that my songs make a statement. So my albums are satire, but they include a bunch of parodies. My albums are usually a satire of the era, like say the COVID theory. So overall, I'm talking about COVID, and I did the Tribe Called Quest thing and all of that, but the whole album isn't Tribe Called Quest songs. It's different parodies.
Yeah.
And that can be hard for people to grasp, and especially a white person who's been a Weird Al Yankovic fan their whole life. They see my CD, they don't automatically think that they're going to get from me what they would get from Weird Al Yankovic. And the shame of it is that I've probably created more parodies than Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
Because anybody who's a Weird Al Yankovic fan knows that his albums, I have 2 or 3 or 4 parodies, but the other songs are original music or polka music, or like on that, it's not parody from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. What I've done is parody from beginning to end, and not just deal in one genre. I've done Frank Sinatra songs, I've done Biggie Small songs, I've done Meek Mill songs, I've done country songs, like, like it's all there. So those are the hurdles that I had to jump across and that I had to kind of let go of so that I can now create more.
Right.
Because I think as a creator, and one piece of advice that I would give to you is to know why you're doing what you're doing, because we're here in this world to receive fulfillment. And a lot of entertainers, a lot of people who've been entertaining and doing things in the media in the front, they suffer through a depression where they wake up and they say, oh, I'm not here, or I'm not as famous, or I'm not as rich. And they start to feel bad about themselves when, to be honest, the reason why they're telling jokes or rapping or singing has nothing to do really with being famous. I always tell people 3 names: Michael Jackson, Prince, and Whitney Houston. In my opinion, the best entertainers in the world. Grammys, money, fame, can't walk out the house with people chasing down the street. Mm-hmm. But at the end of their life, none of that fame, none of those Grammys, none of the success could have saved them. The only thing that could have saved them was one friend or more friends. It's about how you make people feel and how that makes you feel. If you can live a great life and you're doing what you're doing and it's there, let that be enough to fulfill you and understand why you're doing it. If it's all about money, there's a lot of different things you could do to get money, and then find out a way that you could do that to fulfill it. But people confuse the attention from getting famous with fulfillment. But that's why people like some of the greatest funny, how did Robin Williams kill herself? That is Mrs. Doubtfire. That is the genie from Aladdin. That is Patch Adams. It's a whole movie with him healing people through laughter. How does he end up killing himself? Because fulfillment doesn't come from the fame. And you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. So while you do these things that you're doing, make sure you get fulfillment out of it. And I think that you will, because we only get one life. And it doesn't matter if you get billions of dollars. What matters is if you're happy and you can give that energy to other people.
That's where I'm at. Yeah. Hey, we're going to wrap up shortly, but do you mind, can I ask you about the Philadelphia Comedy College? Like do you offer any courses online?
Okay. Yes. That's what I'm happy to talk about that. We are about to launch Philadelphia Comedy College Virtual in June.
Cool.
Philadelphia Comedy College was started in 2016 as a school for professional stand-up comedy. Our lead instructor, Ray Gordon, has been on HBO, Starz, Comedy Central. He's the big brother to Philadelphia Comedy, mentor to myself, Michael Blackson, Kevin Hart. That's not me saying that. If you watch Heart of the City on Comedy Central, Kevin Hart has Ray on his show, and he says he's the big brother of Philadelphia comedy and gave us a lot of opportunities. So we have this man as the lead instructor, and he teaches professional stand-up comedy. So when COVID hit, I knew that we had to pivot, and I said, I don't want to just teach stand-up comedy anymore because, to be honest with you, people can't perform anywhere. And we can't even have a graduation show. So I don't want to just take people's money and try to give them a half-ass version and just do it online. So what I started creating a year ago was PCC Virtual. And what PCC Virtual is, it's a hub for comedy learning. So in Philadelphia Comedy College, to where we take 10, 15 students and teach them professional stand-up comedy, on PCC Virtual, we teach you a little bit of stand-up comedy, but we teach you acting, how to create memes, how to write, how to produce your own videos, how to get into voiceover, how to do podcasting, any and everything dealing with how to be funny. So it isn't just for stand-up comics, it's for house moms and house dads and people that just wanted to know, how do I do a little voiceover for a cartoon? Or how do I do this? Or how do I gain traction online? We're going to teach legal stuff. And what I've done is I am collecting masters of field. So we just had a beta test the other day, just to let you know how this went. We had one instructor had made millions on Instagram by creating something called Homeless Douche. So we taught people how to create these homeless douche signs, these cardboard signs, and how to put them up on Instagram so that they can get views that day. We also had an African-American staff writer from The Onion come on and tell people how they could get on a trajectory to go to The Onion and teach them how the Onion News Network works and how to do headlines. And then our last teacher for the day was a gentleman named Reginald Ballard, who is from a TV show called Martin. Are you familiar with Martin?
Yes.
Bruh Man from the Fifth Floor.
Okay.
Was the last teacher. Okay. So Bruh Man came on and he told people about acting, how to make something funny, about physicality, and all of these people shared their story. So what PCC Virtual will be is about 4 to 7 days of sitting in front of the computer and learning from masters how to do anything and everything that you wanted to learn about being funny. So it's for professionals and it's for people that are just passionate about being funny and want to know how to do their things online.
Sign me up, I'm in. I will definitely check that out. Something I've always wanted to do is act.
Yeah, and we're going to have that. And not only that, I do not want to say the people that we're going to have on because I want it to be so much of a surprise. But I would say don't be surprised if there's some stars from Insecure in the movie King of Staten Island.
Cool.
And a whole bunch of other people who have done work. Like our voiceover teacher is the host of BattleBots on ABC.
Cool.
The one and only Farouk Jenkins, who's done voices for Halo.
Cool. Very
he's
cool.
Going to tell you how to just break in. Because what I find is that we start here, we end up here, but in the middle is a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
So what we plan to do is save people time. So if you want more information on that, get on our mailing list at www.philadelphiacomedycollege.com. Just go to the contact us and ask, hey, Keith, what's up with PCC Virtual? Well, we should start sometime in June.
Very cool. We're going to wrap up. Without me having to say, where can they find you? Because I feel like if people want to find you, they should just Google Keith from Up the Block, and they'll find pages and pages and pages on you like I did.
They will.
But where can they find you online?
My name is my address. And if you like me, tip me. Because my name is also my Cash App. $KeithFromupdablock. If you can spell Keith from Up the Block, you can find me. It's like you said, Lysandra, I used to feel like I had to push too hard, but I'm like, listen, if you want me, you can find me. It's an interesting name. I'm very Googleable.
Yep, you are very Googleable. Yep. So if you want to find him on any of the social, just Google him. Done. Simple.
Yeah, and can I give one more message to everybody out there?
Please do.
Okay. I want everybody out there to practice loving yourself. Because if you do not love yourself, you can't love anyone or anything because you don't know what love feels like. So I want you to take some time out today and do something to love yourself, okay? Because the more you love yourself, the more you can give love. And with that said, I wish you wealth, health, and success. Get fulfilled or die trying because you only get one life.
Keith from Up the Block, thank you very much for visiting Lysanderland today. I look forward to seeing you again, sir, and I am going to be a supporter, and I want to try to get you up here.
Yeah, be a leader, not a supporter. You are a leader.
Thank you, sir. I
You are a
appreciate
leader.
that.
Lead the charge. Let the world know, Lysander.
I will do that, sir. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Joy.
All
Thank you
right.
very much, sir.
My pleasure. Take care. Bye.
Peace.